Welcome inside SEC Game Room. Adam Zucker here with Scott Zolak and Brian Curtis. And the big one, of course, Les Miles taking the Tigers to Tuscaloosa. And he's got about 17 starters that were recruited by Nick Saban. In the fourth quarter, tied at 27. Javier Arenas for the Tide. 62 yards on the punt return, putting Bama on top 34-27. They had trailed 17-3 in this game. Now LSU with a big answer on fourth down. Matt Flynn to early do set. And he goes all the way in for the touchdown to tie it at 34. Bama trying to answer. Under 2 minutes to go. Chad Jones brings down Wilson. LSU gets the ball, and 2 plays later, Jacob Hester diving in for the go-ahead touchdown, and the Tigers take it 41-34. A big scare as Nick Saban and Les Miles shake hands at midfield, and the Tigers still in national title contention, but it was close.
And I think this is the big one for LSU. If you look at what they've done, they went into a hostile environment. Their quarterback, Matt Flynn, pretty much gave this game away, but what happened? Made the throws when they had to, and this team, very undisciplined today, a ton of penalties, but good football teams go into these type of environments. They can overcome. They did it against Florida at home, snatched one away from Florida. Florida probably should have won that game. Alabama should have won today, but they took it from them, and that's what good football teams do in the SEC.
I think their defense wanted for them, especially late with the sack of Chad Jones, and they caused the turnover from John Parker Wilson. Scott hit the nail on the head. LSU almost gave this game away. You know, the interesting thing is Matt Flynn didn't play well all during the game, but in the last few minutes of the game, especially on a game-tying touchdown drive, he played well. And I wonder if that's not going to carry over for the remaining games. They control their destiny. They can play for the national title if they win out.
And they're the only team in the SEC who can play for the national title. They get away with one here, and they got away with one perhaps against Bama's arch rival a couple of weeks ago, the Auburn Tigers, winning that game with only a second left. And the Tigers, they only needed the first quarter to beat Tennessee Tech 35-3. 16 straight homecoming wins for the Tigers, who are now bowl eligible for the 8th straight year. That is the longest streak in school history. Georgia over Troy, a very good Troy team that came in on a 6-game winning streak, 44-34. No Sean Moreno doing it again, buck 97 and 3 touchdowns in the win there. Tennessee spanking the Ragin' Cajuns, 59-7. They get the win. Arian Foster doing well there, and Eric Ainge also playing a solid game. The Vols have Arkansas next week. And Florida beating Vanderbilt for the 17th straight time, 49-22. They get the win. Tim Tebow, 5 total touchdowns, 3 in the air. Ole Miss also getting a win, 38-31, narrowly beating Northwestern State. Nice day for Ben Jarvis. Green Ellis, 119 yards and 3 touchdowns for him. So Ole Miss gets a win. The only team in the whole SEC that doesn't have a winning record. Some thoughts on this week?
Well, I think if you look at it and look ahead, I think the biggest game next week obviously going to be Georgia and Auburn, and see how they square up against a tough Auburn team. And if Georgia can take care of business there, that'll give them an inside track for the conference title game, and they should be able to rematch LSU there.
And that would be a great rematch in Atlanta. You know, the difference, Adam, today was the SEC clashes. The big powers play each other, but the other teams, you know, you've got scheduled like Troy, Louisiana Lafayette, Northeastern State. It's a nice little respite before you get into the final few weeks of the season.
All right, now time for us to go on vacation. He's Brian Curtis. He's Scott Zolak. I'm Adam Zucker. We'll see you next week.
Marty Moose.